Hello, my name is Amelia Nagoski, and today I'm talking about the thing that no journalists dare to ask us. But when the folks from TED wanted to publish an excerpt from the book, this is the chapter they chose. The science I'm talking about today is the science of health at every size, which is available for everyone to read in a book called Health at Every Size. It's by Lindo Bacon. I think it's absolutely required reading for everyone, especially if you're a medical professional. You're going to find old editions from back when they were going by different pronouns and the author's first name is different but similar. But it's easy to find now. It's the same book, Health at Every Size, Lindo Bacon. The first half of the book talks about the science of digestion and consumption and how our bodies deal with food. The whole second half of the book is about their original research, where they were studying the efficacy of weight loss education in terms of producing better health outcomes. Does teaching people to lose weight with diet and exercise, like we're all taught, 20 to 60 minutes of aerobic exercise 3 times a week, eat more vegetables, eat less sugar, weigh yourself. The advice that makes billions of dollars for many companies. Is that advice actually good for producing positive health outcomes? You're not going to be surprised that the answer is no. In the group that was under the new condition, Lindo Bacon taught them they can be healthy at any size. Here are actions they can take, behaviors they can change in order to produce a better health outcome, and they can be healthy at any size. They don't have to lose weight in order to be healthy. And hey, not a big surprise that that is the group that had better health outcomes. Now, I am not here to debate whether or not losing weight is a health outcome. It's not a health outcome. If you want to be convinced, please go read Health at Every Size by Lindo Bacon. What the science says is that what's bad for fat people is stigma, fat phobia, getting bullied in school, not just by other kids, but by their teachers. Being lectured by strangers in restaurants or in the checkout at the grocery store. Having a world whose infrastructure is built for people who are smaller than you. The world's infrastructure. The size of airplane seats and bus seats and train seats and restaurant chairs. That size says you're not welcome. You don't belong here. Do you think that might be bad for your health? Yes. Yes, it is. What I'm saying here is that the experience of living as an autistic person in a neurotypical world has some parallels to what it's like to live as a fat person in a world that is idealizing thinness to the extent that it does not build an infrastructure that fits people of a different size. Fat people are a peg trying to squeeze themselves into a too small hole because the world demands it. Autistic people are pegs that are trying to fit themselves into a neurotypical hole. The whole thing that I've talked about in the chapter 4 video, that the world is not for me. It was never intended for me. Fat people experience that same thing. So Lindo Bacon's research provided a solution. What they were researching was if they could use a different kind of education to teach people to live with better health outcomes. And in fact, what happens in Health at Every Size education is the same thing that's already happening in the autistic community, where they're kind of reframing language in order to make it not so oppressive. Like neurodiverse, neural differences, neurodivergent. Even divergent just means different, but some people think that maybe it carries a kind of a negative connotation. But that's only because there's a negative connotation to being different, because the world still does believe that any kind of difference is inherently negative. You're a woman. You're a person of color, trans, not Christian. I mean, I know it's a lot of work to build a world whose infrastructure actually, but Zootopia had teeny tiny doors for the hedgehogs and great big giant doors for the elephants, and seriously, seriously, it was a Zootopia. So that's the science and the relevance to the autistic experience and the solution. Does it still feel like not helpful? Yeah, that's because there's one other thing that happens on this, which is that the whole wide world is still judging people based on their appearance. We are taught by medical providers to judge our health by our appearance, which is why people say, "You don't look autistic," because we assume, we are all taught to believe that there is an appearance to health. They tell fat people, you can't be healthy because you look sick. So Lindo Bacon solved the problem of education and starting to relearn how to think about your well-being as not the one that society idealizes, but perfectly valid. You can be healthy at any size. You can be healthy at any color. You can be healthy at any shape. But on the flip side of that, what if you do have a condition or a difference that doesn't show and people don't see it? And people gaslight you and tell you, you can't be sick because you look healthy. There's a YouTuber named Jessica Kelgren-Fozard who identifies as a deaf and disabled YouTuber. And people tell her all the time, you don't look deaf. You don't look chronically ill. Because she's beautiful, according to the socially constructed arbitrary ideal. She's thin and white and has luscious hair. So how could she be sick? What do you do about that? What does the science say? What is the solution for dealing with that? I'm going to sing you a song, and I'm going to keep my ukulele out of tune because I know that this is not 100% the solution, but this is the song I wrote for neurotypical people. In chapter 8, we're going to talk about the abyss, the chasm between who the world expects you to be and who you are. The world says, you're supposed to be this, and you're like, I'm just not that. And there's this vast abyss between those two things. And how do you deal with that abyss? We're going to get there in chapter 8. But this is the first song that deals with just like, what's that experience? And so this is my humble advice. Who does the world say that I should be? And what do I do if I don't agree? Rational me says that I am enough. My primate brain says not fitting is rough. Solutions are clear, I should be myself, or deal with the world when it puts me through hell. Or easier still is to be what they say. That only requires I give my soul away to the abyss. Two opposite goals here ask you to choose. Whichever you pick, there's something to lose. But you're not alone, we're all on this road. When going together is a journey of hope through the abyss. So that's like identifying that there's two choices, and you either choose to conform or you choose to diverge and deal with the consequences. The scientific evidence-based advice for neurotypical people is going together is a journey of hope. You're not alone. We're all on this road, and going together is a journey of hope, because neurotypical people find genuine consolation in the company of others. A burden shared is a burden halved, not doubled, right? Misery loves company. But I know that for me, being around other people and trying to conform is so difficult, so demanding, so spoon draining, that I actually don't find hope in the message that we're not alone and that we're in this together. Problem one is that the world's not designed for people who have autistic brain function. We just don't fit into it. The infrastructure doesn't fit us. The information about how to succeed does not apply to us. We need to have a different process. Happily, that process is beginning. It is definitely becoming more mainstream to talk about autism as a difference rather than a disability. And that is happening. That's evidence-based. Lindo Bacon has proven that this method of teaching and understanding differences is better for people's health. Because stigma is the danger when people have conditions that mean they don't fit into the socially constructed ideal. But this second thing about the world being taught to evaluate people's health based on their appearance and not believing people when they say, I am sick or I am healthy. Does it become our job to educate people? I mean, yeah. It does. But you can't do that all the time. That would be exhausting. Sometimes you just gotta not. Sometimes you just gotta be like, okay, I'm gonna let you believe a thing that's wrong and I'm gonna go get on with my business. So where's the hope for autistic people? Is it in the consolation of going together? Maybe the idea of a community of autistic people dealing with this together is consoling, is helpful, actually improves how you feel about being required to make that journey. The things I can actually provide that are helpful are, number one, I'm here telling you, ungaslighting you, to say that, yes, who you are, as you are, is valid and good. And no, people have no right. They are incorrect. They are factually wrong, and they're morally reprehensible when they say, I don't believe you when you tell me who you are. And then you have to deal with the mess of living with the world like that. And this is what Emily and I call in the book mess acceptance. Understanding the world is a broken mess and also full of joy and pleasure at the same time. I came to understand how to do this when I learned Tai Chi. There's a movement in Tai Chi called Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain. And the philosophy of the gesture is that you scoop up some of the world and you hold it in your hands and you look at it and you say, yeah, tiger, that's a mess. That's dangerous and loud and scary. And then you return to mountain. It's mess acceptance. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Look at the world as it is and say, yep. This is why the philosophy of the yin and the yang is so important to Tai Chi. It is the Tai Chi. The two Paisleys, one inside the other, and one's dark and one's light, and the light has a little dark in it, and the dark has a little light in it. That is the existence of everything. That's every cell in your body functions that way. Your whole body functions that way. It has its cycles and its processes that are all mixing in together and part of each other and designed to be interdependent. That's how society works. It's got autistic people and neurotypical people and fat people and thin people and tall people and short people. And we're all interdependent. And it's how nature works. It's got dark and light and it all interacts. There's predator and prey, and there's death and there's birth and the circle of life. And it's how the universe works. Dark and light. And kind of the smaller scale you get to, the more you see the Tai Chi, the more you see the interdependence and interaction of opposites. And the larger you go, the easier it is to see the Tai Chi, to see light and dark at a universal level. But when you look at a person and a society, that mid-level, the one that we actually interact with, for some reason it's harder to see the Tai Chi. It's harder to accept that this is actually the way the world has always been. It is the way nature works. And I am so sorry to tell you that the most effective way to live in this mess is mess acceptance. There's a lot of resources you can use. I'll link to Radical Acceptance, for example, and you can go find out more about what that is. But the place that I started was the Tai Chi. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. The world is, ooh, damn. And also, the world is, wow. And it always will be, and it always has been. And you and your passage through the planet and the world and society and the lives of the people around you is intended to be dark and light. I know this sounds woo-woo, but it's evidence-based. So today there were kind of two sciences and two solutions because there are two sides to the story. There's being healthy when people don't think you appear healthy, and there's being sick when people think you look fine. It's the yin and the yang. It's the Tai Chi. Both in one. Two opposites that are true at the same time. This really helped me. Unfortunately, there's nothing a 20-minute video can do to teach you to see the Tai Chi, the universe juice. I kind of love Kung Fu Panda. My favorite thing about Kung Fu Panda is like the universe juice. I know that it's a joke, but like It's also a thing. Like he learns to like catch and be soft and return what was given to him. This is similar to the advice in the last thing, which was to give no fucks. To teach your nervous system, not just, I know your intellect knows that yes, the world is pain and pleasure at the same time. Yes, your intellect knows, but when your nervous system knows, it's different. And one of the ways we can teach our nervous system is through movement, which is why Tai Chi has that, well, it's one of the reasons why Tai Chi has that movement I find very effective. And I'm gonna make more videos about Tai Chi. I don't care if no one wants them. No one asked for these videos. But like, learning Tai Chi was a really powerful, life-changing experience for me. But it is a whole big long journey. There's no just like, and now I know Tai Chi. It's like living. You gotta wax on, wax off, do it over and over again every day. And the next 3 videos are going to be about active solutions. Okay, so we got these 2 sides. Having the world say that you're broken when you're not. And having the world say you're fine, even when you're experiencing really tremendous challenges. And in the end, what's going to solve both these problems and create change in the world is teaching everyone that people are healthy at any size, at any shape, at any type of brain function, at any kind of mental or physical ability. And also teaching the world that not everyone who looks like they conform to the socially constructed ideal is actually capable of the same things as everyone else. They may be facing challenges, and it's a great idea to help accommodate their needs, even though they're non-standard. Until that happens, mess acceptance. Learning the truth that you can be healthy at any size, at any shape, at any type of brain functioning, and mess acceptance. Understanding that the whole world is not going to reshape itself instantaneously to become safe and just for everyone. I believe that change is possible, but it's going to take time. And in the meantime, mess acceptance. Health at every size, mess acceptance. That's the science in chapter 5. And that's why the cure for burnout is not self-care. It's all of us caring for each other. Think about these things, give them a try. Let me know what helps. And in the meantime, remember who the real enemy is, because the cure for burnout is not self-care. It is all of us caring for each other. I mean, you're gonna see the window. And yeah, I have a little baby ring light because Emily said it looks good.